Okay, let's dive into one of history's most brilliant naval traps. This is a story where a tiny force faced a massive empire, and the key to victory wasn't about sinking warships, it was about destroying hope itself. In this single sentence from the Silla commander, Mun Hun, it just perfectly captures the strategy we're about to witness. It's a masterclass in turning an overwhelming disadvantage into a devastating weapon. All right, so our story kicks off in the 7th century on the Bohai Sea. You have to picture this, a fleet so vast it literally looked like a moving castle wall. The sound of thousands of oars hitting the water was like the heartbeat of some giant beast. And on every single sail, the character for Tang glowed red in the torchlight. Now this fleet, led by the veteran commander She Rengui, had one critical mission. It had to deliver food to a massive Tang army, 200,000 soldiers trapped on the Korean peninsula. As he put it, a day late, 1,000 starve. 2 days late, 10,000 desert. The pressure on this guy was just immense. So the stakes were impossibly high. These ships were weighed down not with weapons, but with tens of thousands of tons of rice, all covered in leather to protect it from the rain. This wasn't a fleet of conquest, you see. It was a lifeline. It was the army's only chance of survival.
So this battle, it really wasn't just about ships. It was a duel of wits between two very different commanders. On one side, you've got Shu Rengui, burdened and anxious. And on the other, there's Mun Hun, hidden away on a cliffside, just feeling the wind and calmly waiting, like a wolf about to strike.
But the Silla commander, Mun Hun, he looked at this overwhelming Tang strength, and he saw only fatal flaws. He knew a direct fight was suicide, so he planned something else entirely. Mun Hun's plan is just a textbook example of asymmetric warfare. It's designed to punch way, way above his weight. He wasn't going to fight their war, he was going to make them fight his. So his plan was this brilliant 3-part trap. First, he'd exploit his enemy's psychology, luring their cautious commander into a narrow channel. Next, he would weaponize nature itself, using fog and wind as his allies. And finally, and this is the key, he would ignore the warships completely and aim straight for the heart, the food. And this quote just reveals his true objective. This wasn't just about winning a naval battle. It was about strategically crippling the entire 200,000-man Tang army by destroying their will to fight, right along with their food supply. Okay, so as dawn breaks, a thick fog settles over the water. The trap is set. And the massive Tang fleet, just as Mun Hun predicted, sails directly into that narrow channel. So first, this disorienting, milky fog just blankets the sea, and it reduces visibility to almost nothing. The massive ships are forced to huddle close together to avoid getting lost, which effectively turns them into one giant, vulnerable target. The fleet is now packed into this tight channel with steep cliffs on both sides. There is no room to maneuver, no space to turn around. They can only move forward or backward, and pretty soon, neither of those will be an option. And then, through the mist, the Tang scouts spot dozens of small, silent boats drifting towards them. No sailors, no flags, not a sound. Just these eerie, unmanned vessels floating right into their path. This is the moment of horror for the Tang commander. Xu Yingui screams for his fleet to stop, but the ships behind can't just halt their momentum. And at that exact moment, he smells oil on the wind. And he feels the wind blowing from the northwest, directly from his enemy. And the realization hits him like a physical blow. It's a trap. High on the cliffs above, Commander Mun Hun raises his hand. The winds of the continent help us, he declares. Now, fire! And just like that, hell is unleashed upon the water. Hundreds of Silla archers fire flaming arrows, and they arc through the dawn sky like a shower of red meteors. Their target isn't the massive warships, but those small, silent boats floating below. The result is a catastrophic chain reaction. The unmanned boats, filled with oil and sulfur, just explode into fireballs. The wind shoves this wall of fire directly into the Tang fleet. And because the ships are packed so tightly, the flames leap from one deck to the next, creating a single, unbroken inferno. In the chaos, the Tang commander's desperate orders reveal the true horror of the situation. He's screaming at his men to save the rice, not the ships. He knows this isn't just a naval defeat, it's a death sentence for his entire army waiting on the mainland. The battle ends with the Tang fleet just annihilated. Its commander barely escapes on a small boat. But for Commander Munhun, standing on the shore amidst the wreckage, this incredible victory is not an ending.
As the sun finally rises, it reveals a horrific scene. The sea is a graveyard, littered with the burnt skeletons of ships, floating bodies, and waves of blackened, useless rice washing up on the shore.
In this moment of victory, a subordinate asks to send a message of triumph. Munhun refuses. He understands a chilling truth. By starving the 200,000-man Tang army, he hasn't defeated them. He has turned them from an organized fighting force into something far more dangerous, a desperate pack of hungry wolves. His victory at sea was just the prelude to a much larger, more desperate war on land against a starving, furious army that now had nothing left to lose. The real fight, as Munhun knew, had only just begun.